Welcome, folks, to the final edition of Between the Posts. This is Tommy Javor.
That's James the cameraman. This is Tony Neal.
And tonight on the show we have... I'm just teaching Tommy here a couple of things. This is called a drop kick. This one
Don't be
here...
so hard on yourself, brother.
No.
Right.
This is called a stab kick. And this one, it's a new one. This is called a screwy.
Torpedo. So much to learn, Tony, but what's on tonight's show?
Tell me that. I'll come back to it then. Well, we've got all the grand final, the results and the highlights. Our division specialists have gone through and given a pretty comprehensive report. We've also got Phil Herden with all the results from all the divisions. Very comprehensive wrap-up, I feel.
Yeah, 25 weeks later, and I've actually got notes to work off. Tommy Javor, oh, that's me. I'm doing the Division 1 wrap of the grand final, so stay tuned for that. Be announcing the men's team of the year and coach of the year, which is fantastic. And the media sensation we talk about all year, the Roll the Dice Racing Player of the Year, who will be the first owner of Red Rowing.
Goals and marks of the year, not of the week, but of the year. Also, the Adelaide Football League is on the move. We'll have a little bit of news around that.
What?
And you would not believe, Tommy, there's a valued member of the panel just moving around in different circles as we speak.
Yes. Well, mate, we've got all that and much, much more on this week's Between the Posts.
What was it? Under and you go over.
And welcome to the Division 1 wrap on Between the Posts. It's the last one of the year, and there's only one game to talk about. The game we wait for all year. I was at the grand final on Saturday. A beautiful day at Nord Oval, 2:30pm. It was Glenunga who finished the season 16-2, taking on PAC, 14.5 wins. Of course, they'd met in the qualifying or second semi-final, and it was Glenunga who were too strong. Many people thought Glenunga would get the chocolates. I tipped PAC based on their experience. Over 1,000 games of SANFL and AFL experience, and that was in the end a huge factor. It was PAC 9-15-69, Glenunga 8-7-55, a 14-point premiership victory to PAC. It's probably worthy of noting though, that was the biggest margin of the day, that 14-point margin with PAC kicking the last couple of goals in the game. Glenunga were actually in front in the final quarter. The player awarded Best on Ground. Now, Best on Ground was actually chosen by the winning coach this year, just to take out the umpires out of the equation, with the Brownlow being last night. Fairly topical, so no arguments probably coming on this one. It was number 23, Prince Alfred's Andrew Bradley, who has been sensational all year. I've made the joke many times, he often gets 23 touches, number 23. Well, he only got 22, but he did go at 77%. He had 5 marks, 3 great clearances, 5 tackles and kicked a goal, and he often was able to burst through stoppage or be the one releasing the handball to set McNamara and his mates alight. Well done, Andrew Bradley, on a great game. If you've watched the footage as well, you would see I interview his father, the great David Bradley, hello, and actually make the bold prediction he's going to win Best on Ground. So how about that? Well done, Braddles. Let's look at the goal kickers. Firstly, for the Premiers, PAC, Razzle Dazzle Brazzle kicked 3. He was very good. Jaden Davis proved his worth with 2 goals, taking his total for 59 for the year. And individual goal kickers were Bradley, Trengrove with the first, Clark and Schultz. For Glenunga, it was Harry Prosser with 3, Abe Davis with 2, in an unbelievable display for the runners-up. Bo Schwartz, Tully Kennett and Sam Parsons all scored goals. Of the 9-15 for PAC as well, you'd say, they probably had a lot more chances. 6 of those were rushed. So it actually was a very, very close game. As an example of that, it was Glenunga by 2 points at quarter time. Glenunga still had the lead at half time by 3 points. At 3/4 time was PAC by 4 points, running out 14-point winners. Interestingly enough, the commentary team, we unanimously agreed on our best player for the day, which wasn't Andrew Bradley. We thought Andrew Bradley was probably the second best. We actually thought the best player was on the losing team, but you're never going to give it to a player on the losing team. We thought Abe Davis was unbelievable, and when I get to his stats, you'll see why. But Lockie McNamara, to us, looked like the most damaging player. The captain in his 150th game, holding up the Premiership Cup, he won't be too worried, but he had 20 touches at 80%, 4 clearances and 4 tackles. Often it was Bradley giving the handball to McNamara, but he was the one person that was able to stream multiple times from stoppage and break not just 1 but 2 lines. He was absolutely brilliant, young Lockie. And Coach Nathan Gromer has openly said he's the one they find hardest to match up on. Okay, let's have a look at some of the team stats. Always interesting reading the Dartfish stats. I've really valued being able to see these all year. They've helped me out a lot. Not a high possession game. The pressure was intense. It was Glenunga 224, PAC 236, just 12 more possessions to the Reds. PAC 24 more effective though. Again, good ball users by foot. They measured their kicks. They chipped. They took that little 22.5 degree kick or the little march kick, if you like. They took it very well. They didn't blaze away. They didn't kick it long down the line to the tools. They didn't get sucked into that gameplay. It was very well done. For the first time this year, I saw Glenunga lose the inside 50s. It was 33 to 37. So it was a high intense game. They couldn't get the repeat stoppages that they used to, especially in the second half. PAC had 10 less turnovers in the grand final. That can be crucial. They also had 10 more tackles. PAC laying 73 tackles. It just shows the intent and just how well drilled. I wouldn't say PAC played the perfect game, but after losing to Glenunga the previous two times and quite comfortably, they found a way and they executed their plans to perfection. The stats certainly tell that story. I'm going to mention free kicks, even though I'm not meant to mention umpires. 23 to 18. I think it's fair to say in a grand final, team gets the rub of the green and the bounce of the ball, and perhaps went to PAC. Mike Wonke's probably watched the replay and listened to our commentary, and there was a few times where, well, he was cradled, hugged, nestled, and no disrespect to Tom Sumner, who was unbelievable, but I felt like probably a few free kicks were missed at that end of the ground for Mike. PAC also 6 more clearances, did actually have a wonderful game at the stoppages, and all of their big guns fired up. Let's have a look at the best players now, including some of their stats. Again, the Dartfish stats just helped me out with this. Best for Glenunga was Abe Davis. He had 26 touches and 2 goals in the grand final. His last quarter was a little bit quieter, and PAC managed to steal the game. So they double teamed and triple teamed him at times. He also laid 9 tackles and 4 clearances. And the amount of times a pack would clear and get up and he'd be the last one on, he threw his body and heart and soul into that game. Abe Davis was simply outstanding. Sam Smith, he went to a roll up forward. I thought he played that quite well, as did obviously the coaching staff. Kicked a couple of points if they could have just been goals. You never know. Sam Parsons was really consistent. He has a really good year, Sam Parsons. Kicked a goal, not a high possession volume, played his role though, 4 clearances and 11 touches. Sam Wonke, his battle with Brazil was amazing. It was a game within a game. He had 20 touches and 5 spoils, and if it wasn't for him, probably PAC margin would have been a lot bigger. It was a really, really good contest. Tom Bilby was the other one, 14 touches, 7 tackles. He certainly gave his all and tried to push through. Just couldn't quite clear the stoppage as effectively as he perhaps has this year, but still a very good game. A lot of low possession winners on both teams, and that is the nature of a grand final. I think no less than 23 players had less than 10 touches on the game. There was no easy kicks, and it was at the end of each quarter I'd go down to the boundary line to get ready to either listen to the coaches or do an interview or whatever. The smacking of the flesh, I hope that one came through there. It was an intense game. It was quicker than a hiccup. I made the comment a few times in commentary. You didn't have a second to think about it. You had to use your instincts and get the ball on really quickly. It was really tough. For PAC, I've talked about the stats of McNamara and Bradley. They were their best 2 players. For me, that's a nice little bow tie around the top 3 on the ground. Bradley, McNamara and Davis. The other ones, Tommy Sumner, 3 touches. So how do you get in the best for 3 touches? Oh, he was good. 3 touches, 5 tackles, and played his role. What Tom did really well was he worked out the umpire wasn't paying free kicks, so he was able to actually impede Mike's run at times and locked him up, and Mike would then lock him up and the umpire was calling play on. That's fine. That's just playing to the situation, and Tom was outstanding. His dad did an interview post-game, was absolutely wrapped, so well done on a great game, and always a good battle. Luke McCauley was in the best players. He was very good. And Brazil, 3 goals, 2, finishing on 56 for the year. Jack Trengrove, recently ranked number 1 in the league. He had his 20 touches, 6 tackles, 4 hit-outs for a little fella, which is pretty interesting because they did a lot of third man up stuff. Both teams did that. And he kicked the first goal, which obviously for PAC, which settled their nerves. They did get out the blocks a little bit better. That's all there is statistically about the grand final. What I will say is commiserations to Glenunga. They got into the A grade and B grade. This is a team that only 3 seasons ago didn't win a game in the A's or the B's. They went through to an A and B grade grand final. Their B's losing by 2 to 3 goals, and their A's obviously getting done in the last quarter. I've been involved with footy clubs before. Payneham, for instance, when we went to Division 1, it is so hard to win a Division 1 grand final. Everything's got to go right on the day, as well as the preparation work for the 42 weeks leading in. Congratulations go to PAC. They were absolutely outstanding on the day. Arguably, you could say in the minor round, the second best team all year. But when it counted, when they got to the big dance, they got the job done. So as I was drowned to death at the end of the game, as I heard red, 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 it was nothing but red. So all the accolades do deserve to go to PAC on being the 2023 Division 1 premiers, and commiserations to Glenunga for an outstanding season, so close. Everyone at that club should be incredibly proud of what they've done. So that's the Div 1 wrap coming to a close for 2023. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you. There's some people I certainly need to thank, because I'm merely a pawn in the big piece, the big chessboard. And without John Douglas and the opportunity, I wouldn't have it. Tony Neal as well, who's supported me the whole way and has led our team. The main man who does it all is the editor and cameraman behind there, Jimmy. Absolutely outstanding. He's the reason I actually enjoy watching this segment, because when I talk, he puts the footage up and it's like we're in sync. It's like Johnny Wishbone. I just say it and it's there. So to Jimmy, thank you very much. I can see you back there. You've made this segment a lot better than what it would be if it was just me doing chitty chatty blah blah. Next year I hope to be back. I'm not sure what will happen next year. I have got some commitments heading out to Virginia on Saturday afternoon, so I won't be commentating, but I'm still going to stick in the team. And I had a chat with John today. I can't thank the league and everyone enough for having me. It's been a wonderful year. Congratulations to all teams in Division 1, and we look forward to next year.
I'll tell you what, Tommy, I'm a relieved man. It's the last show. We're not having a buddy bet this year, or this week, because...
We had a few this year.
I am relieved, because last week's result, tell us what happened.
Well, Tony, we had 12 buddy bets this year. You hadn't won one, so I gave you the hottest favourite of all the hot favourites. I gave you Marion, and my beloved Green Acres Dragons got up. Now, I need to... Yeah, just as I suspected, mate. Your punting was terrible, but one thing you did do is you bet with mates and you had some fun. And that's what buddy bets are all
I
about.
can't believe you gifted me the lay down Monty, and it didn't happen. So that's what it's all about, folks. It is having fun with your mates. All money has been deposited into your Buddy Bet account, as it should be. You can look that up and use it for next year, because I'll win some back. But in all seriousness, we've enjoyed the support and had fun with the various bets throughout the season. We can't thank Buddy Bet enough. Remember, gamble responsibly, and we understand they are on board, as are the rest of the sponsors for next year. So we hope you've enjoyed the fun and the banter of the Buddy Bet. The Breakthrough Mental Health Division 2 Grand Final was Golden Grove versus Payneham Norwood Union, held at Hisense Stadium, Richmond Oval, West Adelaide. Matt Gale and Beck Northcott were the commentators, and Matt Gale has prepared this report. Well, the Golden Grove Juggernaut finished off their impressive season in style with a classy 56-point victory in their Breakthrough Mental Health Adelaide Footy League Division 2 Grand Final against Payneham Norwood Union. The electrifying crowd witnessed an absolutely cracking B-grade grand final earlier in the day between the same two heavyweights, with Golden Grove getting up in a nail-biter by a solitary point. Along comes the A-grade. Unfortunately, the A-grade didn't live up to the same billing and was a one-sided affair, particularly after quarter time. The Golden Grove Kookaburras squeezed the life out of their Payneham Norwood Union opponents with their strong structure and defensive mechanisms behind the ball, which was well orchestrated by playing coach Luke Barmby and former AFL listed versatile players in Lewis Johnson and captain Cameron Shenton. Division 2 medalist Jake Pittman had a viral case of leather poisoning and accumulated possessions at will in the midfield, whilst Wyatt Patterson had a day out to remember, kicking a match-winning 5 goals in a best-on-ground performance up forward for the Kookaburras. Brad McKenzie was a rare shining light for the PNU Falcons and played a lone hand for the large majority of the match. Kudos and congratulations to the Golden Grove Football Club, who have become a powerhouse of the northern suburbs, and expect them to feature prominently in Division 1 company next year and beyond. Big call from Matt Gale there. The Payneham Norwood Union Football Club will need to put that game in the back of the rear vision mirror and quickly move on as the top tier of the Adelaide Footy League awaits them in 2024. Best on ground, winner of the Dartfish Beanie and the Archie's Thongs, Division 2 Golden Grove, Wyatt Patterson. You will sleep in them if you get any sleep between now and grand final day. Magnificent Archies there for you.
Thank you
Thank you for joining us, coming in and joining us. You've got the pair of Archie's thongs there, so keep them to yourself. Don't show Justin those.
And a magnificent pair of Archies as well.
Yeah, we'll give you those. They're brown numbers actually, so it's going to be perfect for the Guernsey. We've given him some of our world famous Archies, magnificent sponsor.
The pair of magnificent Archies, so you can hold those up. Archie's thongs, mate, you'll sleep in them. Don't kick the footy in bare feet, but you can have a go with the Archie's thongs.
A presentation, this is really quite outstanding. Now, what is it, Tony?
These are the Archie's thongs, Peter. Archie's thongs, so if you can hold them up, our magnificent sponsors, Archie's. The Division 3 grand final was Flinders Park versus Modbury. That was held down at Morn Team Woodville Oval. Our report is given by Tim Pillion, who did an outstanding job on the day as the lone commentator. Final score, Flinders Park 9-11, defeat Modbury 8-7 by 10 points. Speaking with Tim earlier today, he gave me a very comprehensive wrap-up of the game. Here it is. The game was set up and ultimately won by Flinders Park in the first quarter with their fast start and with an 18-point lead at quarter time, the highest margin for the whole game. Flinders Park took the game on from the first bounce, played on at every opportunity to break the lines and get the ball forward into their forwards quickly for a one-on-one contest. Max Teague, Flinders Park full forward, had size over his direct opponent, and this was exploited with long kicks to ensure Modbury on-ballers could not get back in time to help their defence. This was the difference between the two sides. Flinders Park fast, play on, risk-taking, versus Modbury slow, short kicking, switching wide to maintain possession and trying to take the heat out of the game. Grand final medalist Alex Stern was dominant in the ruck in the first quarter, giving the Flinders Park on-ballers, the Schwartz brothers by 3, first look as they took full advantage. Second quarter was a carbon copy of the first. Flinders Park dominated possessions and gave their forwards plenty of one-on-one contest, to which they finished the job, scoring another 2 goals, ending with a half-time score 6-2. Modbury was second of the ball and did waste a couple of shots in front of goal to be 3-3 at half-time, a lead of 17 points to Flinders Park. At half-time, the question was simple. Would Modbury change their game style as their slow movement was not working? And that's exactly what they did. From the first bounce, Nathan Hearing, the Modbury ruckman, started to break even and then got his hand on the ball to give the Modbury on-ballers first look at the stoppages. They started to move the ball quickly with run off the half-back line and quick play on handballs from every stoppage. Modbury kicked the first 2 goals of the third quarter and reduced the margin to 5 points before an indiscretion at half-back midway through the term caused a reversal of a free kick and Flinders Park converted truly and then steadied with another goal to stretch the lead back out to 17 points before Modbury scored a late goal to reduce the margin back to 11 points at 3/4 time. The scoreboard was saying it was anybody's game, but the Flinders Park key position players were on top and it seems they had control of the big moments. The last quarter was tiring as the heat had taken its toll on both teams. The ruck duel was fantastic and the best contest for the day. Two guys that gave their all for their clubs until the end. It was time for the key forwards at both ends to stand up and take some pack marks. Teague and Lodordo for Flinders Park were fantastic, but ultimately kicked 5 points straight. Modbury, with Verity and Kpara, also presented well and kicked 2 goals in a row to reduce the margin again to under a single goal. Late in the quarter, a Flinders Park daring risky kick through the middle of the field enabled a quick transition with some link-up handball to find a leading player who slotted the goal to give Flinders Park a 10-point lead, which was enough to win the grand final. A game that was played tough but fair, with all players only having eyes for the ball. In summary, it was the fast play-on movement from Flinders Park in the first half that proved to be the difference in the game. Modbury never gave up, but they just didn't get enough of the ball. I'm confident that the stats will show a higher disposal efficiency rate from Flinders Park, which was the difference. Alex Stern, the Flinders Park ruckman, was awarded the grand final best player gong, and he was also Tim's pick for the Dartfish beanie and Archie's thongs. Well, it's the one everyone's been waiting for. 4 rounds of hidden votes. Roll the dice. Red Rowie, the big horse, has been out training, and the winner becomes a part owner. Thank you very much to Roll the Dice Racing, a part owner of a racehorse. Magnificent sponsorship. I think they're on board again next year as well. And, may I say, what a wonderful season it's been. What have we got to the end of round 14?
So just the rumours that he broke his leg, not true?
No.
Okay, all right,
No.
good. Okay, wouldn't be much of a prize then. Hey mate, look at round 14. As you said, the final 4 rounds are concealed, but we're about to reveal some key stats. Now, I'm going to give you 4th through to 10th because, interestingly enough, all these guys are on 10 votes. I'm going to rattle them off pretty quick. Alex Colotto, Nigel Osborne, Sam Gray, Andrew Bradley, Cam Wildman, Nick Wunke, and the tip back Bo Schwartz. All on 10 votes going from 4th to 10th. In 3rd place on just 11 votes, Chris Curran. In 2nd place on 12 votes, the big Ticky Penny.
Oh.
And currently leading on 17 votes, round 14, is Abe Davis. So, Tone, what I think we might do is you can go through round 15. Just give us any of those guys if they polled. Can you do that? Does that make
Certainly.
sense? All right, good.
Yeah. Cam Wildman polled 3.
Oh,
That brings him up to 13. I'll tell you who else polled. Blake Penny with 2.
it's getting close. It's getting very close. Yeah.
Also, Alex Colotto came through with a 2. There were a couple of players with 1s as well.
Yes, Chris Curran being one of them. Okay, in round 16, none of the leaders had a massive day. Hayden Jolly with the 1 vote.
got
Alex
1.
McKay starting to get up there with 3 votes. And that man, Abe Davis, got the 3 from the umpires, got the 1 from Adam Jeffries, interestingly enough. Might have been me, actually, but never mind. Okay, round 17, Tony.
Well, round 17, we go through 2 to Alex McKay. So he had a couple of really good games there, polling in 3 in a row. And then we got 1 to Blake Penny.
Yep. Anyone else, Paul?
And, well, Abe Davis, 3 votes. Round 17.
Okay, and round 18, if you're keeping score at home now, it's not all that close. Hayden Jolly got 1 and continuing what was a stellar end to the season. That man, Abe Davis, polled 3 votes to get 24 votes to go with his 25 votes in the Keith Sims medal, and that makes him the 9-vote winner of the Roll the Dice Adelaide Footy League Division 1 Player of the Year.
Well, we're going to catch up with Abe very shortly, but let's have a listen to one of our major sponsors here. This guy is the director, and I've been told his name is Steve the Hornet from Roll the Dice. Let's have a listen to the Hornet.
Hi everybody, it's Steve here from Roll the Dice Racing. Just wanted to congratulate Abe on winning the inaugural Roll the Dice Player of the Year. Obviously Abe has been filled in, he's had an incredible season. Big strong midfielder, that goal-kicking midfielder that polled in 10 games with 6 best on grounds. And winning the award quite easily with 24 votes. Abe gets a share in a horse that we bought down at the Magic Million Sales in Tasmania, a gelding by Alpine Eagle that's been named Red Rowie. we purchased this horse. We thought it was going to take a little bit of time, and it's starting to shape into a nice enough style of gelding. It's just finished a nice long spell, and it's just about to come back in where it'll do 6 weeks pre-training with Darren Weir at Malden before heading across to the very accomplished Mitch Friedman at Ballarat, who's really starting to hit his straps as a young trainer. Abe will get all the updates come through from us, so all the videos, all the updates, and obviously people can follow along the way as well and enjoy the ride with Abe. The horse will probably, as I said, 6 weeks with Darren, and then we'll probably should see it at the track in roughly 12 to 13 weeks, which will be exciting. The horse value for the 5% share, we valued it to this stage with all the training fees and everything paid up for at very close to $10,000. So it's an incredible prize, and we love being part of this, and we hope to help out again next year. So thank you to the league, thank you to John Douglas and his team, and fingers crossed we can find a horse for Abe that really pays him back in spades. Well done.
And Crone takes the lead in the Coolmore. Crone draws clean out from Mizzy. It's a Queensland victory. And a big payday for his owners, winning the English Millennium in a romp.
But Ayrton the class, and Ayrton won the Victoria Handicap.
But Mahuda goes all the way. Where again, Mahuda?
Taliqua, too classy for them. The Blue Star flashing beats them all. A Blue Star gets up the win.
But it's all Globe, 100 metres to go. It's 6 lengths in front. This is an outstanding performance again. And Globe eased down, won the King's Coronation Cup in a canter.
Welcome to Between the Posts. It's the segment we've been waiting for all year. It's time to announce the Roll the Dice Player of the Year. Oh, here he is. Congratulations to Abe Davis. Well done. Winner by 9 votes. There's your Roll the Dice jacket. You can chuck that on when you're riding bareback on Roll the Dice. I'm not sure, mate. What a huge season. 25 votes from the umpires, 24 votes from us, the collection of commentators. Tell us what can you put the great form down to?
I think getting the play underneath, and the fact that he's got so much confidence in me to go out and play my role and give me the licence to play in the middle, push forward. I think that's probably the main barometer to my form.
Yep, obviously some great games this year. The one where you kicked 10 stands out to me. It might have been against Old Iggy's, but was there, as a player, I know it's a team game, was there a playing highlight for you this year? Kicking 10's always nice. I started to panic at 3/4 time thinking I might not be able to get there. I think, that getting to a granny, I don't know, it's cliche, but playing granny with your teammates, didn't quite get the result, but that was probably my personal highlight. Yes. Let's talk about the prize itself, mate. You've won $7,500 worth of a share in a racehorse, which you technically could sell it tomorrow if you wanted to, but we hope you own the horse for a while. Have you owned a horse before?
No, I haven't. When I saw at the start of the year that was on the line, that was probably a little bit of a push for me to get my ass into gear as well. So
yep, beautifully done. Now I'm obviously I've been told, might have been you that told me, that there was a deal made between you and Tippy when he was at Bo Schwartz leading earlier this year that you were going to go halves in whoever won. Have you just done yourself a mischief here and robbed yourself out of half a racehorse, or is that not happening? Or
no, I thought Bowie would pole a bit better than he does. Usually I've got 2 or 3 blokes sitting on top of me while I feed out a handball, and Bowie gets to run off with my nice work. So I thought he would have poled a little bit better than he did, albeit we made the handshake deal when he was out in front and then wasn't to be seen again. So I think it's always more fun to be involved with a mate anyway. So
yeah, fantastically done. Mate, obviously this is an individual award, but every time I've spoken to you and Nathan, it's always been about the club for you, and obviously being around at so many Cloonunga games this year and hanging around for a beer. It was great to see you get around the C graders and B graders, but Saturday sucked. Didn't quite get in the last quarter. We've got to talk about it, mate. Sorry. Where to now? Do we just butter up again and have a crack next year?
Yeah, I think we'll enjoy a couple of weeks off, and no doubt Nath will start messaging me in the next couple of days with game plans, and Pitto will be sending clips. So can't wait for that. I think we have a bit of a look at where we might be able to potentially add players and have a look at any changes that are coming there. But I think PAC have been there for the last 3 years, and I think that was something that did genuinely give them an advantage. We've had a look at it now. We know what the bright lights of grand final day look like in Division 1, and we knuckle down and go again.
No worries. Obviously, to get where you are, it's taken some support from others and your teammates to be great, but let's start on he is behind the camera, so we've got to be careful. Nathan, does he still post his videos where he's tapping the screen and his kids are yelling with the structural stuff?
Yeah, we still get those ones. We get the occasional we need you to look at this clip of vision, and it's Nathan kicking a goal or taking a mark and 07 granny. So
for Centrals?
For Centrals,
decades ago. Where'd it go, bro?
Was robbed of a Jack Odie just quietly. Don't know if you've heard that one, but so he was supposedly robbed of a Jack Odie. I think the way he's able to keep the group engaged with stuff like that, whether he's having a bit of a laugh or especially when he can have a laugh at himself and get everyone around that, I think that's something that is going to keep this group in a really good position. Yeah,
and look, credit to the guys. Well, obviously, I coached there last year. A lot of coaches would have wiped me like a dirty bottom. I nearly said us. But I was welcome back into the club. I was always able to have a beer there and treated me just like I was still one of part of the furniture. So it speaks to the quality of not just Nath, but Benny, Stapleton, all of these guys, So I appreciated that. Mate, just you've won a big award normally now. I actually thought Lockie Neal was going to get up towards the end there, but didn't get all the votes we thought. But comedy, mate. Anyway, anyone, I know your mum watches as well, so anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I will thank Karen for all the feedback that I get. Most of it good, sometimes a bit of a clip, but clip's always good. To the club, to Nath, and to Nath's family. I won't name everyone at the club because I'll definitely forget someone, but how I've been welcomed in with open arms this year has just been absolutely exceptional. And again, I think it's another thing that has really allowed me to play some pretty good footy this year. And the other one is to my partner Kat and to her family for everything she puts up with and everything she helps me throughout the year. Certainly wouldn't be here without her, and can't thank her enough.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge congratulations to our Roll the Dice Player of the Year, Abe Davis. Congrats, mate.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Between the Posts.
Well, we ventured down to the Division 4 9 News Lockley vs CBC OC, Christian Brothers College Old Collegians that is, to Campbelltown Oval. It was myself and Jed Pfeiffer, Jed offering expert coaching analysis and commentary along the way. The big Division 4 grand final. Well, the Lockleys crowd was out in force with 3/4 of the ground bathed in red and blue. They were absolutely everywhere. CBC had their supporters spread pretty much from the visitors' coaches box around to the forward pocket. Lockley started well and had good forward structure with Ben Haran and Samuel Ferguson teaming well to create early scoreboard presence. Haran in particular moving up and down the ground and creating a great target as the ball surged forward. Ferguson finishing well through a strong presence deep. Bowen Hosking was also influential early with a long run, including 3 bounces, exciting the huge crowd. Several missed opportunities in front of goals by both teams allowed the opposition to transition rapidly. Joel Foster was a loss for Lockleys and was unable to return to the field after a heavy knock on the far side. This reduced the flexibility of the bench for Lockleys on a hot and fatiguing grand final. Lockleys lead by 14 points at quarter time. CBC fight back in the second term with a very strong defence led by a very strong Jack Strange, who refused to be beaten and led by example many times. CBC's Jonty Rutai was outsized by Ben Haran, yet told away and had several decisive spoils through the second quarter and made an impact. Lockley's Haran was found up on the wing and at times on the half-back flank, trying to be a target for Lockley's. The question right now was, have CBC created the trap and snuffled Lockley's forward potency? My co-commentator Jed Pfeiffer noted, it makes an interesting observation and asks the question, would the inside 50 still be the same? The Dolphins not only defended but attacked well for 9 scoring shots to 4. However, inaccuracy in front of goal led to a 3-goal 6 to 2-2 quarter. Sam Raymond was having a very good game and Aaron Marchioro was ever elusive, speedy and opening up attacking moves for CBC. Half time, the Lockley's lead had been reduced to 4 points. Third quarter, Lockley's attacks were thwarted and repeatedly turned back by CBC, who appeared to be running on top of the ground, supporting and hunting in packs. Matthew Madonna was having an outstanding game for Lockley's and his possessions and ball use was precise. Nathan Bately was endeavouring to lift Lockley's and Kane Godlewski was very competitive across half forward a number of times. However, scoring dried up for Lockley's as CBC repelled and attacked from the back line with linking players across the wings and a spread of players finishing with goals. CBC kicked 5-3 to 2-2 to hold a 15-point buffer at 3-quarter time. In the final quarter, the CBC crowd was in full force as the Dolphins continued to attack. Marchioro was playing a great game and won many 50-50 contests, whether in the air, body on body, or below the knees. Lockley's Fazzolari was trying hard all the way through with support from Jai Cockram and Ethan Kelsey. The Rucks were having an interesting battle with Cooper Seacamp doing a mighty job for Lockley's, however often double teamed or he was taken out of the play by opposition tactics. There was a lot of moving around trying to get him out of the play. CBC's Jack Poole got some important touches during the final quarter. Jack Strange once again had a great game along with a very well balanced Matthew Raymond who disposed well under pressure in many attacking moves. Sam Raymond played an outstanding game, attacking well and showing grand final desperation in many contests. Daniel Applin played his role along with many of the CBC players. A 5-goal 5 to 1-goal 5 final quarter sees CBC kick 10 goals 8 to 3-7 in the second half and become the 2023 premiers with a 39-point win. Best on ground in the Division 4 game, CBC, Sam Raymond.
Adam Jeffries here to present the Coach of the Year award, guys, thanks to Farmers Leap Wines, and we're here with Nathan Grimer, who's been awarded the Coach of the Year, so well done, mate.
Thank you.
No dramas. Now, we've got a $100 restaurant sell-it-all voucher for Nathan, so he's already told me he's going to drive all the way down the Pathway, 3.5 hours in the car and use that, so well done, mate. And this is 6 of the best of our premium Shiraz in here for you for being the Coach of the Year, mate, so well done. I suppose, given the reasons why I chose the award, I was tasked with this at the start of the season. Thanks to the Adelaide Footy League for giving us the opportunity to sponsor the award. It's something a little bit unique and different. As Tommy knows, I used to coach. There was never an award, was there, Tommy? There was just nothing. So we thought, you know what, it's time to reward the coaches. So that's what we did. We had a Coach of the Week award, which rolled into a Coach of the Year award. I chose Nathan purely because I thought the award should come from Division 1. That's no disrespect to any of the other lower division clubs and coaches who do a great job, but I thought the award should come from Division 1. And no disrespect to the other top 3 teams who have playing coaches. Nathan is a coach who's taken over a club that were zip and 9 after the COVID season and has built something, built a list, built a game plan that really is the envy, and it doesn't rely on talent. It relies on structure and coaching. So I was quite impressed with how they went about their business this year, and I reckon they'll be around the mark next year. So well done to Nathan again. Congratulations. Appreciate that, and stick around for an interview with Tommy, and thanks a lot for Farmers Leap Wines, Adelaide Footy League.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'll just quickly say thanks to you and Farmers Leap. Like absolutely, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be named this. As this could go to one of 100 coaches around the league, and not just your one coaches, and all the way down to B and C grade. I often say C grade's almost the hardest group to coach because you don't know who's going to be available, you don't know who's going up, who's going away overseas, and all this. In A grade, you're pretty lucky you get to recruit, build your group, but. I'd trade this in a heartbeat for a premiership coach. The reality is we fell short. I appreciate the acknowledgement and I appreciate your kind words about our club, and this will definitely be well enjoyed by me and probably Abe actually. So thank you again.
Thanks, Nathan. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to Between the Posts. I'm here with officially the 2023 Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Nathan Grimer.
Thanks for having me on, Tom. Much appreciated.
Okay, good Adam Jeffries, hey, you got the good stuff for you. You know, a nice evening for you and Jacinta ahead on the Farmers Leap Shiraz?
Yeah, absolutely. Any time a sponsor wants to put their hand in their pocket and support a local footy club, and we've got so many at our club and around the league, and to Farmers Leap for supporting this award all year and being kind enough to give me this award when it could have went to so many others. Much appreciated to those guys. It will be enjoyed.
A tremendous season for you and the Glenunga Football Club, but obviously just fell short at the final hurdle. That's not what this is about. It's about recognising you, but I think we probably need to talk about the grand final. In the lead in the final quarter, but in the end, PAC just too good.
Yeah, it's always tough, mate. Anyone that's played footy as long as we have and been involved as long as we have, they bloody hurt to lose. Once again, I lost a prelim at AFL level, and I can tell you what happened on the weekend has cut me more, because it's not just about you when you're coaching, it's about your whole group and your club and your committee and your volunteers, and you never stop reflecting on, should we have done something different, and, should we have played a bit more daring, could we have, put an extra number at the contest, and you just do your head in thinking about it, and at the end of the day, we ran into a really good team on the day who are well structured, well drilled, and have really good top end talent, and they've got a great culture. And when the whips were cracking, I couldn't fault Abe Davis. He tried to put the team on his back, but he was up against 3, 4, 5 guys that have been there and done it.
Yeah. Mentioned in my rap that it's not just the possession he gets. Sometimes he gets up off a pack and people peel off who's at the bottom. Oh, it's Abe.
Yeah. Mate, he's just been such a great addition to the club. My 2 children, they're 4 and 6, and they absolutely love him. They draw pictures of him, and not to scale, because he's always about 3 times bigger than me. They've got these numbers on his back, and that's the impact you don't realise these guys are still having. Kids get to a point where they look up to AFL players. That probably comes when you get close to your teenage years. But I've got a 4 and a 6-year-old at home that absolutely idolise Abe, and for me, I want to win. I want to build a great culture, and I know I've done that. And it's really disappointing, mate. And when you go 17 wins 2 times in 3 years and being in front at half time of 2 grand finals and lose, probably reflects on me of what I've got to improve. But at the same time, we had a really solid year and something to build on.
Yeah, look, not to go into defence for you, because I know you can stick yourself. That first grand final, players didn't quite get up from injury, which is against Old Iggy's in Div 2. This one, one of the things that I think hurt Glenunga is that they got 2 looks in the previous 3 games. They got a real good look, and 1,058 games of AFL and SANFL experience, they were able to find a way. And it wasn't it was the biggest margin all day was the final margin of 14 points.
Yeah.
As you know, it was a goal of difference, 20-minute mark of the final quarter, and they found a way, as good teams do.
Yeah, and just with that, the whole, and I've probably been vocal. They've got a lot of talent. 11 or 12 guys that played SANFL, but my understanding that Lockie McNamara didn't play a single game, and he could have probably walked away with 2 medals on the weekend. So when we're talking about experience, it doesn't mean you have to have played at that high level to be a really good local player. In fact, there's some guys that come back, and if they don't have the right attitude, I saw it in Melbourne firsthand. We had a lot of ex-AFL guys in local footy there, and if they're not willing to train and buy in and mentor the young guys, they can actually be a hindrance to your club. But when you look at the guys of the character of Curran, Bradley, Trengove, Jolly, they're good people. I've never heard a bad word about them. So not only are they a class act, they're great role models for their club. So it's easy for us to say, well, let's go and find 2 or 3 ex-SANFL guys. But what we've built is pretty special around our culture and our buy-in, and it only takes one rotten apple, to affect everything. So, credit to them. Best team on the day one. They matched us in the contest. Really well coached, and I said it all on the day. It's nothing but respect for their guys. They won the right way. If a team comes and beats you in the contest, beats your clearance, and then they get you on the outside, you've got nowhere to turn for an excuse, and you don't.
So, still, nonetheless, it's a bittersweet reward. Coach of the year. I don't actually know. You signed for next year for Glenunga?
Yeah, absolutely. So I committed to the club. So effectively, when I come to the club 3 years ago, it was going to be a 2-year thing. A bit disenchanted with footy after probably feeling like I failed at SANFL. And when you have a setback as a coach, your feeling of failure is so dramatic that it has such an impact on your actual well-being. And I've just been mindful this time around with this loss, just to say, you know what, it was disappointing, but I'm not going to let it get to myself to the point where it affects my wife or my kids or my job. And in the past, I've probably gone into a bit of a lull, and because people see me as such an upbeat and loud and confident person, when you feel like you've let people down, it really gets to you. I just, until we actually achieve the ultimate, I'll keep coming back, and I might be even very, very grey and probably divorced by the end of it, but I'll be Until I'm lifting the cup up, Tommy,
hang on.
I'll keep coming back.
You haven't put a rinse in, have you? You haven't, have you?
Back in the day, that's something I would have done. I was a bit more worried about my looks back then, but no, this is the salt and pepper greys coming through. But within reason, I'll keep coming back until the club feel there's someone that can do a better job. I'd love to put someone in a position to take over beyond me, if that's next year or the year after. But you know, I owe it to the club to see it through, and as long as Jacinta supports me, which I hope she will, I'll stay as long as I sort of can.
Fantastic. You're talking about the job, the new job. How is that going?
Yeah, really good, mate. So I'd always either played footy or worked for myself my whole life, and apart from coaching, so I'd never really had a proper job as far as having to work 9 to 5 and that sort of stuff. So I've started in commercial real estate at CBRE in the city, in industrial, and deal with a lot of PAC people. So they all knew the result by Monday, which I've braved in, come in there a bit under the weather and had to front up. But yeah, no, really looking forward to having something away from footy and you know, having a good long-term prospect as well. But yeah.
And for those of you that might have missed the earlier interview, your new career success is due to me. Nathan had a successful landscaping business till I borrowed his machinery and broke it. So I just shifted tack for you there, Nathan. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. And there's the Farmer's Leap to make up for it, mate. Look, we'll just close off, mate. Anyone, club, I know you thanked Jacinta and the kids, but anyone from the club or anyone else you want to thank in regards to the award?
Yeah, probably not so much Glenunga and Hull. And like, I just want to reiterate, the whole idea of coaching realistically is to just, one, create good people and good culture. And I know speaking to a couple of the Div 1 coaches this year who might not have had, the wins that we had or PAC had, and they're dealing with a lot of off-field issues with players, and it's not the time to be shining a light on stuff other than PAC's grand final win. But a lot of what you're doing coaching now is not even on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Phone calls from boys.
Management.
Yeah, but not even just man management. Psychology. And the guys dealing with some really bad stuff. And when you bust your ass, and we do what we do on the weekend, and we come up short, I can live with it. But when you get knockers, come and you're walking off the ground, and they're into your players and into you, and it's emotion of a game day. And you just think, if you only knew what half these guys are going through and what the club are doing for these guys, like, you sometimes just got to take a step back and just tip your hat to the team that won and just let it, not worry about everyone else. But yeah, mate, other than that, to any coach in the league that could have easily won this, to all the premiership coaches across all grades, I think that gives you about 27 premiership coaches. I envy you. I wish I had what you had. I'd trade this in a heartbeat. I don't feel that I'm the best coach in the league, but I know that I'm doing the best of my ability and creating a really good culture, and I'm really well supported by the league and Dartfish and you guys, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and we'll all keep doing what we're doing within the league, and hopefully next year I don't have this, but I have something else that's going to be more special. But once again, thanks for your support this year.
On behalf of the Filming Footy, Dartfish, the league, we can't thank Glenunga, yourself, and everyone involved for your support. You never said no to an interview. You had us at the club. You couldn't have made it easier for us, mate. I didn't pick this. Some people say, I picked you because we're mate. No, this is Adam Jeffries that picked this, and thoroughly deserving. So close to Glock out there, mate. Yep. Congratulations, Coach.
No, cheers, mate. Appreciate it, Tommy.
Thanks. We'll be back with more Between the Posts.
Well, folks, according to many at the game, this is the grand final of the season. Division 5 Wakefield Sports Clinic, Jeps Cross versus Kilburn at X-Convenience Elizabeth Oval, and it was commentated by our very own Vince Cosme and Jack Moore. Here we go, written by Jack Moore. One of the finest games of football in the Adelaide Football League of recent history, and that is an understatement. Two clubs who set records on the field in 2023. Jeps Cross longest winning streak of 15, and Kilburn highest average score across the season of 137. On paper, it was set up to be a clash of the Titans. On the day, it was nothing less. An arm wrestle in the opening stages. Jeps Cross defensive structure was a sight to behold. Organised and composed, outnumbering Kilburn in their attacking forays and looking fresher, fitter and more skilled. The opening goal of the game through experienced chick Reece O'Keefe before Don Barry fired back for Jeps Cross. Both men with 2 goals to quarter time, and Barry with leather poisoning, clearly best on quarter 1. Kilburn showed their true colours in the second quarter, coming out firing and playing on at all costs. Countless inside 50s led to a number of shots on goal, but the Chicks were wasteful. 2-5 in the quarter. Meanwhile, the Rams were clean, efficient and deadly, adding 6 straight goals, including 5 unanswered in the middle part of the quarter. Establishing a lead of 23 points at half time. Kilburn looked exhausted. Nothing was working inside 50. League-leading goal kicker Corey Solly goalless, and it seemed to be Jeps Cross by how much? Don Barry had 4 goals to half-time and picked up where he left off in the third quarter. Wiles got a goal back for Kilburn early, but Robbie Young kicked truly 11 minutes into the third to re-establish the lead. Howson woke up and added his first moments later before Urbancic cut the lead to 3 points. A shootout followed, Burgoyne with the next for Jeps and Howson adding his second a minute later. But it was Clark Rentaza and Don Barry who put a tiring Kilburn back in their box. A 14-point three-quarter time Rams lead. Do yourself a favour and watch the fourth quarter on the Filming Footy YouTube. It was one for the ages. Kilburn coach Matthew Whelan played a wild card, swinging Corey Solly to full back and defender Alex Brackstone up forward. Brackstone would put through 2 goals in the first 5 minutes to cut the lead to 2 points. Jeps Cross looked shocked and surprised. Don Barry had disappeared. Kilburn running on top of the ground. Howson added his third, Lauder the next, and all of a sudden the Chicks had piled on 10 goals to 4 since half time and led by 3 goals heading into time on. Then the Rams found something from somewhere. Barry added a 6, Clark Rentaza his 4th, and the lead was back to 6 points at the 24-minute mark. What followed was inspirational. From the centre clearance, Alex Brackstone marked in the forward pocket. His shot on goal drifted across the face and a lovely tap down found captain Marcus Linson, who snapped truly to effectively win it for Kilburn with 25 minutes on the clock. Before the player of the second half, Raymond Headland wheeled off in the pink boots to add the cherry on top to cap off Kilburn's first premiership since 2015 and one in their 100th season. Division 4 clubs better check their rear vision mirror because Kilburn and Jeps Cross are coming in 2024. The Chicks by 18 points. Best on ground Division 5, Kilburn, Scott Galbraith.
And welcome to an incredibly important segment, probably one that a lot of you players have been waiting for a year. Tony, it's time for the Adelaide Footy League 2023 Men's Team of the Year. Now, yes, I was going to say, obviously I was the Div 1 expert, so I had a lot to do with this, but where there was a panel of us involved, tell us a bit about how that worked.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So a large panel, once again you reach out to coaches, you reach out to past players, different people all around the league. So it's a conglomeration of a lot of people that have a great footy knowledge and observe a lot of games. And it is a fact, you can't fit 23 into 21. It's like selecting your grand final team or your team every week. So the crew that have been involved with it have done the best they can, and this is what we've come up with, and it is an absolutely cracking team.
I think the important bit, Tony, that you've put there is we have spoken to coaches where we've had tough decisions to make. I think it's a really good team. Some players, obviously I did the team of the half year, some of those guys haven't made it and some people have come in, but all in all, if I had a team playing for my life, I'd be pretty happy if it was this team.
And the other thing, as you said, which we were discussing earlier, it's based on the 18 rounds of the home and away, not the 2 or 3 finals games or who won the premiership or runner-up or whatever. It's based on 18 rounds. So our first player, it's an honour and a pleasure to announce our first player, forward pocket, Jaden Davis, Prince Alfred.
The Juice, as we affectionately, and everyone calls him now. I heard him calling Juice when he got the ball on the weekend. 59 goals for the year. He was our leading goal kicker. He was the medalist and an outstanding season, capped off with a couple of goals in the grand final.
Well, his teammate, Prince Alfred, Tyson Brazel. So you've got a little bit of a nickname going on there, Razzle Dazzle Brazel.
The boys call him T-Bone at PAC. 54 goals, I think it was, 50-odd goals. Coming from North Adelaide, so he missed the first four or five rounds. He was a huge asset and he was one of the key pillars at each end of the ground that helped PAC get the premiership.
Mate, the other forward pocket I had the pleasure of seeing early in the year, and this guy is explosive,
get him
to
out.
say the least.
Fast twitch muscle fibres.
That's it. And he can kick across the ground, it'll dribble through, he'll kick it from 50, he'll beat his opponent pretty much every time one-on-one. A great player, and it's Peter Persinos from Tea Tree Gully.
Yeah, bums on bums on seats type operator, beer in the belly, gets you excited, the best celebrator in Adelaide Footy League. The reason is he, as a small forward, he was the leading goal kicker in a team who had challenges at time, all the way up to the prelim final as well. He really, really had a good year, I thought.
Another fine player I had the fortune to see, and this bloke covers a lot of ground, a great runner, and he plays a 4-quarter game of footy at the same speed all the time, and you've had the pleasure of being very close to this guy, having seen him up close with your coaching, but outstanding player, Bo Schwartz at Glenunga.
Yes, the man they called the Tip Rat. His season, he was actually leading the who knows, he might win it, the Roller Dice Player of the Year for quite a great deal this season. I unashamedly happy to say when I was at Glenunga, he was my favourite player to watch and be around. His excitement, and he just does special things in a football field.
Mate, when we talk about centre forwards, you go back to the 80s and we talk of Dermot Burton and you talk of maybe a Fraser Gehrig, the big strong bodies and these kinds of players from our area, and it follows through. And it's interesting to see in Division 1 with so much ball movement, but our player at centre forward is that big strong body. He's a leader of his club, not as captain but as coach, but also leads by example on the ground. An outstanding player in our league this year, and that's Alex Carlotto at Sacred Heart. Yeah,
Alex did a great job as coach and was always very supportive of what we were trying to do and our interviews and so forth. Would often play the chief or the post centre half forward and full forward role going into ruck. He was a real pivotal point for them, and when they were up and running and hot, he was near impossible to stop.
The next player I absolutely love this, to get whether it's SANFL or AFL players come back, not just have a kick around in the league, but actually play good football and put their heart and soul into it. Premiership player last year for his club, an outstanding year again this year, and congratulations Sam Gray on the half forward flank from Port District.
Yeah, Sam Gray was very good. Again, probably the most dangerous Port player, certainly in front of the ball. I loved his season. Spent a lot of time up forward on the half forward line and running through the midfield. You can't question his endeavour and his commitment to the Port District Football Club.
So interestingly now on the wing we come to this player here. Once again had the luxury of seeing this young player play a lot, and you talk about players that play an 80-metre play, so they'll run and carry and then kick the ball, but then they'll get down to the next bit of play but equally go back the other way just as importantly. And with the way the team was performing this year, you can see this guy pretty much covered every blade of grass on the ground. Sam Daniel at Broadview.
Sam Daniele, the man they call Wazza, very, very popular, real character, one of those inspirations that people love to play around. Fast, exciting to watch, and the coach, Matty Bird, just loved having him in the team. He's a real asset, and they'll keep him because they really value him.
We talk about side by side, so the other player on the other wing is also a Broadview player, fantastic player, and he's actually the vice captain of this team, Jay O'Leary from Broadview.
Yeah, another excitement machine, fast moving, ability to finish well in front of goals, a really good one that they use a lot of times in the transition from defence to attack. I only commentated Broadview 2 or 3, probably 3 times I think, but each time I commentated him, he was fantastic.
So we'll go to the on-ballers right now, and we talk about our rucks, and we have a lot of fun with this guy, and he's funny. He's the first player I've seen name in an interview, but you can have your fun, but you've still got to be able to play the game. But not only just be a tap ruckman, it's your marks around the ground, it's your kicking of the ball, it's bringing other players into play and so on. So congratulations, fantastic season, Blake Penny down there at Tea Tree Gully.
I don't think there'd be anyone else in the league that, as a big man, that would be better in the clearance. His ability to hold an opponent off as they jump off him, still take possession. His ability to break from clearances was fantastic. He gets possessions around the ground, and again, he's a real leader. He absolutely thoroughly deserved his spot, and is right up there in the Roll the Dice Player of the Year award.
Can you imagine these players running around in a team if we were able to get them out on the park? And we talk about our next one, probably the outstanding player of the competition, not probably, was the outstanding, and he's our captain. And have we got time? Have we got half an hour now to talk about this player? You've seen him, I've seen him. He pretty much did everything this year, third man up, roved, crumbed, goes up forward, kicks goals. But playing in the centre, Abe Davis, there was none better this year at Glenunga.
Yeah, and look, we're not going to spoil the Roll the Dice award, but what we can say about Abe Davis, I saw in the last 6 games he played, he polled best on ground from the umpires, because that's been released, in all 3 of the final 3 games to win the medal. He was amazing. If you look at your Dartfish stats as well, possession-wise, he was up there with everyone, kicked a lot of goals, kicked 10 in one game, and did whatever the team needed. He was an outstanding asset, and he is indeed the captain of the men's team of the year.
Yes, congratulations, Abe. And next on ball, you want the strong bullocky types over the ball to get the ball forward and lead the way, whether you're winning or losing on the board. And this man does it for Brighton Bombers week in, week out. When the team's perhaps not travelling so well, don't worry about the scoreboard. Just show us what your playing traits are. Nigel Osborne, once again, outstanding.
Yeah, the Oz was very good. Polled multiple times for a lot of because the Brighton didn't win as many games, especially early. Polled a lot of ones and some twos. Didn't get the threes because he was not on the winning team. But also times him best on the internet. I think it's something like a dozen times. A super consistent season. Games where I think he missed a couple of games, and clearly Brighton didn't win those games, and they struggled without him. He's been a very good player for a long time and continues to be.
Tommy, the next player I love to talk about, because I'm interested in, people just think, oh, Jack Trengove, he's just a runner, he'll run here and he'll run there. You mentioned it before in the statistics, 6 tackles in a grand final. Look at last year, I think he had 40 or 50 odd tackles across the final series. He's not just run and carry. He'll go and get his own ball. He'll win a 50-50 when he has to go in and get his own ball. He can take a good overhead mark, and he's been consistently good for the 3 or 4 years that he's been back in the Adelaide Footy League. He's not just petering along and going along. He looks after himself. He's a credit to himself, his family and his club, and Jack Trengove again in the middle. Fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like he even reinvented himself a little bit this year. He wasn't just a running machine in the middle. You look at his grand final stats, he also had hit-outs. He goes third man up. He'll push himself deep or half forward to shake a tag. He kicked a goal in the grand final. He started kicking goals, started doing different things. Isn't always looking to have the volume of 40 possessions, because that doesn't... And Cameron Ling went through something similar at AFL level. That may not be what the team needs. And when you've got others around you, like, sorry to keep you awake there, Jimmy, like Jolly, Bradley, McNamara, you've got to give equal midfield time to those players, and that's what Jack has been able to do. Actually had him on the bench in the halfway team of the year, his second half of the year. Well, he peaked at the right time and they won the flag.
Yeah, correct. This next one, once again, an absolute pleasure to watch. You go out to games, and I commentated a couple of games and I thought, geez, he only going to move around the square. What does this bloke do? I hadn't seen him play this year. But absolutely outstanding. Hayden Jolly actually covers a lot of ground, and the important thing, he can go forward if he decides that he wants to, but he was down back collecting the ball in traffic and getting that ball out, and very rarely does he miss with a kick or a handball.
Yeah, also takes a lot of kick-outs, Hayden. Outstanding year, was leading the Keith Sims medal going into the final round, which certainly says a lot. I know in my Div 1 wrap throughout the year, I often talk about him as statistically being the most efficient footballer, going about 84%. I don't have the end of year stats here now, but he certainly was around that mark. And I love seeing Joel's behind the ball. I think at half forward it's not as effective. Around the middle, and you can't, like, everyone can play in the middle, and at half back is where he does his best work.
Call him the architect.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So Cooper Gaffney, centre half back at Port Districts. What can you tell us about Cooper?
Well, Gaff, I openly admitted this year having a man crush on him. I just love the way he goes about it. Left-footed genius. They get the ball in his hand, a bit like Giles. He's the one that takes the kick, whether it be the Bridger or the 45 or the long kick down the line. They like to have it in his hands. A beautiful user of the ball, and a worthy admission into the team of the year.
We go across to half back, and Chris Curran, you talk about the Rock of Gibraltar and rebounding half backs, and once again another player that's come out of league football but doing the work down there at Prince Alfred, and we keep saying it over and over. You can come in and you can have a name, but you've got to be able to play the game, and Chris Curran's certainly done that off a half-back line.
Yeah, the general, if you like, his ability to intercept market and third man up is unbelievable. He's the one that directs traffic and sets up the structure, along with Craig Pitt, obviously, down back, and to have that defensive structure behind the ball is just imperative. So, and that's what made them an absolute force. When he didn't play well, Glenunga beat them. He found a way to have a big impact in the grand final.
Our next one is, a gentleman in the back pocket from Prince Alfred, Campbell Wildman.
Yeah, if you like it, we don't like our American vernacular, but he was the running back. And I saw it on grand final day, he has elite speed. He's quicker than nearly everyone. So he does take it off, he looks for 1-2s. He is also, in one game this year, was our highest stat getter with 46 touches in a game this year. It's not too bad. And he was elite. I finished up with a few goals at times as well, with just his running capacity is huge.
This one I love, Sam Wonke, the games that we went out and called, and you watch him going around, there's an art to judging, do I just spoil, do I punch and run, do I actually back myself and take the mark? He almost plays like a forward down back, if that makes sense. The amount of marks that he can take, floating across the front of a pack, in the middle of a pack, but just knowing your strengths and playing to the magnificent player at fullback, wonderful player to have back there, Sam Wonky Glenunga.
People make all the statements like you'll never see him lose a one-on-one. That's not. Everyone loses one. I think I saw him lose 3 all year. They were all in different games. He doesn't ever make the same mistake twice. He's predictable and consistent, and when he spoils the ball, he spoils it with thunderous intent, and it often goes back 30 or 4 metres the other way and creates a transition from defence just from the sheer impact of his spoil. Again, bit of a general for Glenunga, an outstanding season, and probably one of the very first guys I picked in this team.
This player here plays in the back pocket, could have been selected maybe across the midfield, up forward, on a wing, half-back, pretty much every position on the ground, and if we really got him going, he could have probably played ruck as well, to be honest, but an outstanding season. I saw him in the first round. He had over 20 possessions in the first half of a game, went off for the Crookham. He came back, had a great season, and he really helped Tea Gully out, to be honest, and that was Luke Brown.
Yeah, pretty much put the team on the back, didn't he? He 74 touches and 23 clearances in the first 2 finals that they won. If we're being completely honest, this team is incredibly well balanced positionally. Luke wouldn't be in the back pocket, but someone had to go there. It's just one of those things, they're not that easy to pick. So I didn't pick a specialist back pocket, but Luke Brown was in the best 18, and when he was up and going, that's when Tea Gully were beating everyone.
So we come to the interchange, of course, and boy, oh boy, what a strong interchange. And there's a couple of players in here who really got to know throughout the season.
A couple of captains as well.
Well, Johnny Vrodos, you talk about tough as nails and hard at it. Just see ball, get ball, and doesn't matter whether there's 5 opposition or 1 opposition or a teammate. He just see ball, get ball, and he's one of those ones. It's like a comet. You'd get in behind him as a player and let him go and just fall in behind. Great attacking leader on the ground, Johnny Vrodos.
Two incredible players for Spock, and were really torn. Johnny Vrodos, the Adonis, I think he was in the best players, 13 times for Spock. Led their resurgence. They should have been relegated. You should have been. But Johnny Vrodos, along with one man that's desperately unlucky, Jordan Lockwood. Oh, what a season by Jordan Lockwood. Didn't quite squeeze in, my main man.
23 can't go into 21.
That's right.
Talking about Goodwood Saints, Jacob Heitman.
The Hitman. Jacob Hitman Hyman, again, a good consistent season. Tossing up a lot between him and Favoretto. Jacob in the end got up. Liked the way he did it. He was versatile. The games I saw them play, he absolutely had a crack every time he went near the ball.
The next player here, I sort of change my favourites around every year. One of my favourites here, this guy we saw in a game through the year, and obviously had a very consistent season.
He was clinically dead, wasn't he?
He had a very quiet first half in one of the games. When I say quiet, he probably had 10 or 12 possessions, but you just didn't notice his impact. In the second half, he was on the bottom of every pack. If he wasn't on the bottom, he was applying a tackle and virtually lifted the whole team and got him across the line. And that's Alex Haran from Glenunga. Can't talk him up enough about the courage that he showed on that day and throughout the season.
Yeah, the captain of Glenunga, one of the best blokes at the club. He's not a ranter and raver. He's not a captain that has a lot of words to say. He leaves that to others. But the way he leads the exploits on the field at every contest, his ability to get hand to foot is quicker than a hiccup, as I always say. He's lightning. He just gets the ball going forward. He plays a team game, and he is the epitome of what Glenunga are, and a worthy recipient. And like you said, Tony, so you check the stats again. He had 27 touches. That's the kind of player he is. He's not flashy. He's your meat and potatoes type operator. He ain't the sugar and spice.
All right, and we come to our final selection, and 4 on the interchange, of course. But sometimes you go to a game and you'll see a player and they just seem to be running so smoothly across the ground, just work themselves into the game. Nothing seems to be a struggle for them. And I look at Clayton Simons from Sacred Heart as one of those players. Just looks really graceful out there, if that's a word to use, but fantastic player, and one of the, as well, another leader out there for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, another one out of that Glenelg Footy Factory. I never actually had the chance to coach Clayton when I was there, but I fell in love with this kid this year, just the way he led the team as a captain. His game against PAC, when Shock took care of PAC, he kicked 3 and had 30 in one of the better games I saw anyone play this year. He was, as you said, just a smooth mover, graceful. Reminds me of his... I think Tony's his uncle Tony Simons. or his dad.
It's got the same name.
I think John's his dad and Tony's his uncle, or it's the other way around. Either way, Clayton, you're outstanding, a great leader, and just fell short in the finals, but I think Shock will be back, and this man will be leading him very, very well. There is one to go, isn't there?
All right, so we look at the coach, and I think this is done on the body, first of all, not solely this year, because it was a fantastic effort this year, but this has been building for a couple of years, and there's teams that stay up for a long time, or I think the great sign of a coach is to take a team and build a team, to build them up and up and up, and that's what Nathan Grime has done this year with Glenunga. And people say, oh yeah, but they had success over the last few years, but they came through the grades. Yeah. To get up into Division 1, we see so many teams come up, oh, we're in Division 1, and then they fall away again.
Yeah.
But to get them up there, and then to get up to finals and compete and to play in a grand final, and as I said, it's the body of work over a number of years, Tommy, not just the 1 year, and that's why Nathan Grimer has been selected as our coach for the men's team of the year for this season.
If you go back to the start of the year as well, Tony, and look at the experts in the advertising and all these other places, not the Div 1 expert, but they didn't have Glenunga in the finals, let alone in the grand final. Well, we did. Well, I did. And Nathan is a huge part of that. He sets up a system at that club. He demands excellence. He likes it's his saying, he doesn't let them drink their own bathwater. No fault of his that they got done on the weekend at the end of the day, and I think he's coming in tonight. He did post-game tip his hat and say, too good for us on the day. But as a coach of a Division 1 football club, he's been simply outstanding and a worthy recipient of Coach of the Year.
Well, what a fantastic men's team of the year. Sit down at home, go through that. Why wasn't this one in? Why is that one in?
And then call Tony, don't call me.
We've given you the reasons. Either way you look at it, it's an outstanding team of the year, and congratulations to everyone selected. Division 6, O'Neill Sportswear, Marion versus Greenacres at St Mary's Oval. Our commentators were Jad Gosson. He was on his own actually down there. So this is the report by Jad. In the Division 6 Grand Final, it was very intense and really proved that defence wins premierships, with both teams being very good defensively. Marion kicked to an early lead, getting the first 3 goals of the game, but then Greenacres kept their composure to get the next 3 to level the score. Sliding doors moment was a kick just before the half-time siren from Marion after a 25-metre penalty hitting the post that let Greenacres in discipline go unpunished and not let Marion get their momentum back. After the half-time break, Greenacres were solid and kicked to a few goal lead and set up very professionally behind the ball with many intercept marks to really keep Marion to a low score and see out the match. Big upset, as Marion only had 1 loss coming in round 1, then losing the grand final, but still a great season overall, and both teams get promoted. Congrats to Greenacres, a very good performance to get the victory. Best on ground Division 6, Greenacres' Matthew Taylor wins the beanie and the Archie's thongs. Well, without further ado, let's just move straight to it, Tommy. The goal of the year and the mark of the year has been voted on and decided. Who are they, please?
Okay, congratulations. The goal of the year winner is... Should I do the annoying Gil McLaughlin pause? It's not Lockie Neal. Caleb Maynard from Houghton Districts Football Club in Division 7 for the big torpedo from the middle of the sheep station there all the way through. Well done, Caleb. Congratulations. You are our goal of the year winner. The winner of the Mark of the Year from the Golden Grove Football Club in Division 2 is Aidan Thatcher. Well done to the Thatch.
All right, folks, what we can do now is just show you a little bit of a grab of some of the great marks and goals throughout the season. We had to reduce it from probably 20 or 30 down to about 8, down to 5, and these are some of the great grabs and goals from the season. We had over 10,000 views just on these 2 sessions alone in Grand Final week, so we can't thank you viewers enough. Sit back and enjoy some of the great football from the Adelaide Football League.
Well, good day, footy fans, and thanks to O'Neill Sportswear. Welcome to the final weekend wrap of the 2023 season. We look at all the grand final action across the Adelaide Footy League from Saturday, September the 23rd. And grand final day, doesn't it deliver like no other day in footy? Let's get into it. We had our grand finals in C8 and C7s. These are at Mitcham. Sacred Heart claiming a flag for the year, as did the Henley Sharks beating Modbury and Prince Alfred, respectively there, 19 points and 76 points. Of course, the CMAX Clinical Research Division 7, they played the week before, just a reminder. Ingle Farm, hey, they're probably still celebrating, why not? 86-point winners over Houghton, but Houghton, they had their share of the spoils as well, winning the Division 7 reserves over Ingle Farm by 6 points. Both those teams will see them in Division 6 next year. Speaking of the O'Neill Sportswear Division 6, in the C6, Marion Rams got a flag. They got a second in the Division 6 reserves, beating Adelaide Lutheran and Fitzroy respectively. Looking good at quarter time, Greenacres gave the Rams a quarter head start. Marion led by 8 points at the first break. Then Greenacres made it pretty close, a 1 point lead to Marion at the main break. Then the Dragons took the lead, 12 points heading for home, and they kicked 3 goals to 2 in the final quarter to take the flag at St Mary's Park, reverse the second semi result, and beat the minor premiers Marion by 17 points. To the Wayfield Sports Clinic at Division 5, Jeps Cross and Kilburn, this is Port Elizabeth, in the curtain raisers. Flags to Woodville South, defeating Colonel Light Gardens in the C5s, and Kilburn, 3-point winners over Colonel Light Gardens. Not a day to be a Lion, unfortunately, in the Div 5 reserves. In the main match, it looked pretty good for Jeps Cross, 4-point leaders at quarter time. They had a 6-goal second quarter, led Kilburn by 23 points at the main break. Then the third quarter, 4 goals to 5 goals. Kilburn just snuck it back a little bit to get within 14 points. And then a quarter, I think, that we talked about in the lore of the Kilburn Footy Club for many years to come. In their centenary year, trailing by 14, heading for home, Kilburn kicked 7 goals to 2 to overtake the Rams and emerge victorious by 18 points. Congratulations to Kilburn on the Wakefield Sports Clinic Division 5 Premiership. Oh, and the reserves as well. Quite a night at Blair Athol, I'm sure. 9 News Division 4 Grand Final here, and the surprises keep on coming. Campbell Memorial, again, Lockley started strong, 14-point quarter-time leaders. CBC pegged them back, 4 points at the half. Then 5 goals to 2 to the Dolphins in the third quarter. Set up possibly a premiership winning lead of 15 points. And then in the final quarter, the Dolphins went bang. 5 goals, 5 to 1 goal, 5. Had Lockley's been accurate? Who knows? But at the end of the day, the Dolphins have emerged victorious as premiers of the 9 News Division 4 by 39 points. Other premierships to Plympton over Lockley's and Moorville Park over Lockley's. Lockley's, I'm sure you're woken up this morning wondering what the heck happened yesterday. Well done on getting 3 teams in the grand final. Commiserations, no chocolates. But congratulations to the Dolphins and the Bulldogs and Moorville Park on their respective premierships at Campbelltown yesterday. To Division 3, this was played at Morteen Care over at Woodville, Flinders Park and Modbury. And this was the first game we've looked at where a team led from go to way. Flinders Park, 18 points at the first break, 17 at half, 11. And then Flinders Park kicked 1 goal, 6 in the final quarter. And I've seen teams lose premierships by kicking 1 goal, 6 in the final quarter. Modbury, though, could only manage 2 goals, 1. They could only peg back that 15-point deficit by a bit. And Flinders Park, Division 3 premiers by 10 points. Also got to mention Modbury didn't leave empty-handed. They picked up the C3 premiership, although they did lose to Unley Mercedes in the Division 3 reserve. So congratulations to Flinders Park, the Jets and the Modbury Hawks on claiming their premierships at Woodville yesterday. On to Hisense Stadium at Richmond, the Breakthrough Mental Health Foundation Division 2. Golden Grove did what they've done to most teams throughout the season. Won very well. Payneham did not score a goal until the final quarter. By that stage, Golden Grove had built up a 7-point lead at the first break, 5 goals at the main break, 49 points heading for home. They won by 10 goals to put an exclamation point on a very dominant Division 2 season. They backed it up with a 1-point win in the Division 2 reserves. That was the close game of the day. Kookaburras getting the A's and B's doubles. In the C's, Ross Trevor Old Collegians beat Henley by 32 points. Which leaves us with the triple header that was live streamed yesterday from the Norwood Oval. In the C1s, Prince Alfred Old Collegians finished the perfect season, defeating Sacred Heart by 45 points. Division 1 reserves was a close game. As we often see in grand finals, eventually Goodwood Saints broke it open in the final quarter and then emerged victorious in what looked comfortable, anything but a 19-point victory. Then the A grade, and what a game this was. Back and forth. Got to tell you, 10-minute mark of the final quarter, I was going through my notes, finding the rules on what happens if it were a draw, because that looked a distinct possibility. Glenunga led by 2 points at quarter time. They led by 4 points at half time. We had a total of 7 goals kicked in the first half and then 7 goals kicked in the third quarter, including a minute of madness from Prince Alfred Old Collegians. A poor turnover led to a goal. An altercation after that led to a second shot on goal before there'd been a bounce. Prince Alfred had a 12-point lead, totally evaporated in the space of that minute. But take that minute aside, and to be honest, Prince Alfred were winning the majority of the contest, the ball, the field position. Indeed, they kicked 4 goals, 2 in that third quarter to 3 goals, 1. They took a 4-point lead, their first leader to break into the final change. Glenunga kicked the first goal, but Prince Alfred kicked the last 2. In fact, they kicked 2 goals, 5 to 1 goal, 1. Prince Alfred had by far the majority of the ball in field position in the final quarter. That 14-point margin was probably the biggest of the entire afternoon. It shows how close that encounter was. A great grand final in Division 1 to wrap up the season. For Prince Alfred, that is their third Division 1 flag, which makes them the most successful Old Collegians club in the history of the Adelaide Footy League. And congratulations, Andrew Bradley, who was judged the best on ground medal winner. Okay, let's wrap up the season. Mentioned this before, here are the 12 clubs relegated. Good luck to Old Ignatians, Goodwood Saints, North Haven, Henley, Gazer, Westminster, Portland, Mitcham, Eastern Park, Elizabeth, Bramah Lodge and Smithfield. For everybody else, you better get organised because they've already been preparing for 2024 and they've probably got a 3 or 4 week head start. Of course, with every relegation, that's because we've got promotion. Here are your grand final matchups. All of those teams, even those that didn't have the best of days yesterday, know that they're getting promoted. Congratulations to all these 12. And here's the slide that everybody wants to be on. Here is your 2023 Premiers Club. Across the Adelaide Footy League, we have 29 premierships up for grabs. 7 in the reserves, 22 in the men's across the A's, the B's and the C's. And from those 29 premierships, well, it was a pretty even spread. 22 different clubs picked up a premiership, and there they all are. Picking up a double, Morphy Parks, Goodwood Saints, Kilburn, Prince Alfred Old Collegians, and the Marion Rams. Picking up 3 flags, 1 in the women's, 2 in the men's, the Golden Grove Kookaburras. That's a wrap. Thank you so much to Annual Sportswear for the support through the season, and thank you so much for watching. It's a pretty simple show, but seems to be pretty popular. Until 2024, whatever that may bring, hope you enjoy your summer. Thanks for being here.
Well, folks, a little bit of, I guess, sad news, but it's been an absolute pleasure, TJ, to have you along this year. You've commentated, you've done a bit of boundary riding, you've been on the show with us, you've gone out and conducted interviews, and your Division 1 wrap is nothing short of exceptional, mate.
Okay.
So we know, we want to wish you well. We know you're heading off to help out some clubs, which is, it's in your DNA, I know that, and you love helping other people. We said that at the start of the year when you came on board. You're just fresh off the back of winning a few awards, and we know that you don't do it for that reason. Mate, you've been outstanding for the Adelaide Football League and magnetic to the players, and we see you on game day getting around talking to officials, players, coaches and that. So from all of us here at the Adelaide Footy League, mate, we can't thank you enough. We know we are going to see you around in the future, but we wish you all the best on your...
My favourite artist is Johnny Farnham, mate, so you never know. I'm going to commit to the 16 Saturdays next year in the Plains League with Virginia, but I certainly won't be a stranger and may even do a bit of Div 1 stuff still, and because I love the league, and it's been very kind to me. It's been a very special part of my life for over 30 years, so yeah.
Well, mate, we can't thank you enough, and just on finishing, I think we've got a little bit of a highlights reel that they're going to put up for you, so thanks again, mate. Absolute pleasure.
And welcome to the Division 1 weekly wrap on Between the Posts. If it was an AFL show, we might call it Hit the Post. Or did it? With a record studio audience of 6. So, yes, great to have you all in the studio. Thank you. All right, as Colin Rouse just walks through. Hello, Colin. Umpires were fantastic at this game. We'll keep going. We'll soldier on. I know you're that crafty. Are they sending the spies out? I found it quite amusing. But, no, good luck to the girls happening. Is that what they did? They let Robbie chip it around down there? Yep, he just nodded at me. Beautiful. Real live, interactive on air stuff. He's a 6'4" goal kicking machine these days. Shrug your shoulders at me, mate. He did.
Wonky was absolutely dominant.
Now, there's 4 Wonkies. Was it the cockroach?
Nick.
The beautiful hat on. I won't wear it because I've used the last of my bit happening in this hair. We've got prizes coming out the yin yang because it was a stream team game. You can dress them up or down. You can wear them hot or cold. You can wear them with socks. They're that bloody good. We've got Archie's coming out of our Archie house. I don't know. Wish I'd have really had a long... Jimmy, the cameraman, he's just giving me that's my worst for the year. Sorry, Jim. I've let you down. I'm not sure about that one. All right, let's get on to our next game, Jimmy. All right, Tommy. Jimmy doesn't talk. He just points and shoots. There's a thumbs up from Jim Bob. I told you so. Didn't I, Jimmy? I did. Jimmy does talk. That's brilliant, Jim. As Indy cracks his neck really, really loud in the audience. Now, I'm not sure if the Dartfish Boffins might have been on the on Saturday night, but they said he went at 100%. I don't think anyone went at 100% in that game. I don't do hangovers anymore, so I'm a stats reader these days. And I love the Dartfish stats and love the Dartfish analytics on a Sunday morning. 4 marks, 4 frees, tackles, smothers, and of course a nice little sausage roll. I'm sure a lot of these highlights will have him kicking sausage rolls. 98-point win. I've said it multiple times. You can't put lipstick on a pig. It's hard to dress this one up. And boy, oh boy, did they deliver, like the postman. Sacred Heart 11-11-77. Port and Prince outfit is the harder to pick than a broken nose. Another upset. I'll tell you what, this round was harder to pick than a broken nose. 14 clearances. I had 14 clearances in a 28-year career. The stream team will be there in 2 weeks' time covering Port versus someone. Who will it be now? I'll tell you who it will be. First question we will ask is, where was the Filming Footy crew? Right on the side of my head. That's right, the Filming Footy Media Centre, whichever side of it. Is it that side, Jad, or is it that side? It's that side. This one here, the Media Centre. I tip my Filming Footy hat to you, my friend. The player in footage is that man who needs no introduction. He's big, he's bold, he's the bear. Abe Davis, number 10 for Glenunga, is the man mountain, the monster Abe Davis.
Abe Davis.
He might be sharing the horse with you. I could see you two riding, shirtless on the horse around Glenunga. There's a visual for you, Vinny. Tough luck for Broadview, really. And of course, Vince Cosmo has said they'll win 2 flags in 5 years. Well, it won't be this year. I don't think you're going to tip because you reckon they're going to win every 1 flag for the next 12 years. It's hard for me not to smile on this one. Wearing my old number 23, Jackie the Hatchet Matchet. Number 10 from Tea Tree Gully, Ryan Spittle. Big Papa Roach, Nick Wunky. And Ned with the bleeding head, Ned Brooks, 2 goals. And 50 Shades of Ryan Gray kicking 2. Tappy. The tip rat, Bowie Schwartz, the man they call Wazza. I don't know why, they just do. The Heartbreak Kid, Nick Michaels. The Adonis, Johnny Brodos, 22. The man about town, Luke Brown, number 2 for Tea Tree Gully. Good to see Razzle Dazzle Brazzle back in the mix with 5. And the Juice, Jaden Davis with 2. That man, Pistol, Pete Persidos with 2. The best celebrator in the league? It's a very special mention. Well, I had a big size pair of 15s to give away. Cometh the big thong, cometh the ticky penny. Blake Penny. Blake Penny, who does a very good horse. Cooper Gaffney, Port. I've got a man crush on this guy. I say it all year. Bit of a man crush on this guy. Cooper Gaffney. But Jordan Lockwood, the big, beefy, brave, bison-like man that he is. My best on ground. I'm putting it out there, not best on ground. There's no coincidence that I've never seen Chuck Norris and Jordan Lockwood in the same location. Matter of fact, Chuck Norris, he'd be scared of Jordan Lockwood. This man is an icon. This man is a star. This man is an entertainer. I've got Neo North on the mind. You know why? Because my man Geordie won it. That's why. Jordan Lockwood's so powerful, he gets into my thoughts. And Jordan Lockwood's the only man I've seen do a push-up with no arms. It took something mammoth. It took a mammoth. Chuck Norris wasn't available, but I'll tell you who was. Jordan bloody Lockwood. He put the whole of Sabres, like Hulk Hogan, on his back. Jordan Lockwood, you are a star. 30 hit-outs, 4 clearances, 7 spoils, 42 intimidatory acts, and basically, he was the man, the myth. Next year, make him captain, make him coach. He's going to win. He's going to win the Roll the Dice Award. He's going to win the McGarry. He's not even in the sample. He's going to win it all. Jordan Lockwood, you're my favourite player. You've saved the club from relegation. All hail Jordan Lockwood!
Welcome back, folks. Well, exciting news. The crew at Dartfish and Filming Footy have collectively got together, and we have got, this is one of the most exciting things in local footy across Australia, metropolitan and country football. We've got a truck being made up, and on the side of that truck is a Sportal scoreboard, and on the roof is a pop-up area that's going to be the broadcasting area. Inside the truck is the studio. And what we're going to be doing is travelling around all across Australia, and the local footy league here in Adelaide are also going to be a part of it. And we're going to be able to come in, film games and show the game live on the screen and the scores. And if there's something else that you want to put up, a la your sponsors and so on, you can do that throughout the day. So this is huge news. We cannot wait for the truck to come across. be delivered and then go around and showcase at the clubs. This is huge news. Here's a little clip that'll explain it a little bit more. We're fortunate enough to be in the Adelaide Football League in our little studio here But in some exciting news over the summer, shh, don't tell anyone, I've got a few secrets this year, the Adelaide Football League and our studio will be shifting. Stay tuned for future shows. We'll put together a couple of shows over the summer months and we'll reveal the new location.
And welcome back to Between the Posts. Tony, we aren't here without the support of our great sponsors, and in particular, our game day sponsors.
Well, firstly, the great man came in last week, but the Banner crew, absolutely sensational. Buddy Bet, we had fun with that every week. Make sure Ratify, because now is the time to get your compliance right. Fantastic, get in there and have a look. Programs to Fit, well, we can't say too much about that great man, but if you're a coach out there that needs a bit of a hand, give me a call. Archie's, thongs, fair dinkum, you sleep in them, got a pair in every colour. Shh, don't tell the boss.
So do I.
So thank you very much to our sponsors. Well, thank you for watching, viewers. That was our grand final edition, and what a great year it's been on Between the Posts, and yourself, Tommy, we can't thank you enough. A lot of people to thank. Let's go through them. First of all of our valued sponsors. Understand it takes a lot of people for this production to come together, as well as game day, so we'd like to thank all of our commentators, our filmers and our production crew across this season, and especially James Davis behind the camera. I know he won't come on, but James, we can't thank you enough for everything that you do throughout the week with the editing and cutting and probably making our two heads look okay. Well, one of us anyway.
Thanks, mate. I've got people to thank. I also just want to congratulate, sorry to throw off the run sheet, mate. I spent a lot of time in Division 1, but I want to congratulate all the division premiers because it is great, and a couple of the teams close to my heart, my local teams, that getting up. Just fantastic. Well done to everyone. Even Flinders Park, who I've got nothing to do with. Well done. You've won a flag. That is outstanding. And to be able to see all that because of this great man, John Douglas, Dartfish and the Filming Footy crew. Well done for making it all possible. Now, I want to get this next one spot on, mate, because this one's important.
It is.
I want to thank, obviously, everyone that makes the show really have substance. We're talking about the coaches, the players, the staff, the committees, and this one's the big one, the volunteers. The people who do footy because they love it. That's why we do this show. It's for you, and hopefully we've represented you well and you've enjoyed the show and we pay tribute to you.
Well, good, bad or indifferent, we do thank everyone that has followed us on social media this year. It is without you guys that we wouldn't exist, if you like. And the other one is, most importantly, thanks to all the thousands of viewers for making it all worthwhile for all of us that have come in and been on the show. And for you guys out there to enjoy it, we get lots of comments around the place. Most importantly, it is now the post-season. Stay safe.
And thank you, Tony.
You've been watching Between the Posts.